Willkommen, Huanan, and welcome to Full Throttle Racing's brand new season here at the Austrian Grand Prix circuit at the Red Bull Ring. My name is Webbo. I'm here to take you through tonight's footage, and we join immediately with AP Marg in the Aston Martin, trying to get the car slowed down into turn 3 and not quite succeeding on this first lap. We are on our way for an 11 race season where we will take in a number of different tracks. I'll talk you through that shortly. Welcome to everybody joining us. I hope you've missed us, and I hope you're getting ready for some good racing. I will let you know what the driver lineup looks like, but we'll watch this lap immediately here with AP Marg. First of all, looks like Shannony is the first one in the pits, or Shane-ny, I think it might be Shane. Shane goes fastest on a 106.2, followed by Ron Shooter, Esitronic making his return to the series here in P3 on a 108.4. Cowboy slots in on a 107.8, but what's the lap time going to be looking like for AP Marg? He's a P4 of 108.357. And welcome to Josh, who joins us in the live chat. Do say hello and tell me who you're here to support. Josh is supporting the Alpine team, and we'll let you know as we join back on the Silver Arrows, of course, and a little spinella for J-Boy, almost exactly where the Silver Arrows span in qualifying last weekend. So it looks like not the best place for the Mercedes there on this circuit, but he'll be trying to get himself back on terms and back into race pace for the next one. Let me take you through then how our teams are looking. In Ferrari, it's an all-new lineup of Donovan and Chicken Wing, although I think Donovan may not be able to make it here to race with us in the first race. In the Mercedes team, it's J-Boy and Sergeant Panda, with Hamrick and Shane in the Alpha Tauri. Ron and Esitronic are in the Alfa Romeo. Then Salzmeister and Jacques in the Alpine. We've got Stoffel, and we already watched a lap with AP Marg in the Aston Martin, and Avalak and Botta resume their seats in the Red Bull racing cars. They managed to secure those seats due to the car auction, which is a unique feature here at Full Throttle Racing. Then we've got Burn It Down and Martin in the McLaren. We've got Cowboy and Pampern in the Haas. I think Pampern, a late adjustment, unable to make it tonight, but I'm sure he'll be here raring to go in the next one. And then Top Gun and Burt's are in the Williams, and your final allocation there. Hi to Shellin, hi to Shakes, as he was in the previous season. I presume, Shakes, you're back and bumped up to F1 into the Premier Division this time out. There's Bert's just off track at the moment. Let's join one of the McLarens. And hi to Jet, who is here supporting the Alpha Tauri boys as well. So looks like Martin just slowing on this invalidated lap, so I'll try and find you a driver actually attacking the racetrack. Here's Ron Shooter in the Alfa Romeo, getting down into that turn 3. Look out for plenty of overtaking here this evening with the racing, but right now it's all about qualifying 1 and making it through, not being in P16 or possibly P15 to see what the game decides to eliminate. But of course the driver will be super familiar with this racetrack. While we prepare for our season, of course here we are at the Austrian Grand Prix every week for the next 11 weeks. Next up will be Azerbaijan, followed by France, Hungary, Silverstone, Australia. Miami features for the first time in round 7, then Belgium, Zandvoort, Monza, and we'll be finishing up in Spain on the 21st of September. I'm hoping to be with you for all of the week's racing, if at all possible. And I'll let you know if the drivers decide to say anything about the weather forecast for me in the driver chat as we approach. But that is Ron Shooter up to P3, then a 106.306. Sergeant Panda holding the best time so far, on the cusp of a 105. Let's see what Stoffel can do. He was high up in the championship last time out, didn't get through to the Premier Division, but does get himself out of the danger zone for Q1 and into a 106.290. Good banker lap for Stoffel. I think might well be one of the favourites to take this title this year, Stoffel, after coming pretty close despite missing several races in Division 2 last season. And of course returning races such as Avalak, Martin and Botta will also be high up there. There's Martin getting a 105.819, the first driver into the 105s in the McLaren. So job done for him. He can probably relax about now. And welcome if you are just joining us to tonight's first race on the F1 22 game and first race of this season 7 here at Full Throttle Racing. If you want to shout out, do say hello. My name is Webbo, by the way, if you didn't catch that. And you can find me on socials at WebboRed5 if you want to see when I go live. And Sir Hamrick then, who in that awfully turbo whiny Alpha Tauri is now finishing up his lap, staying valid. Be careful of those track limits around this circuit. And across the line to go pole, a 105.705. It won't be pole. Excuse me on that one. It won't be pole. Here goes Avalak, league owner and admin, up into P8, 106.4. And we've also got then the current order: Hamrick, Martin, Panda and J-Boy, the top 4. With just Saltzmeister yet to set a lap, and he's on an out lap at the moment, just about to start his lap here on the Alpine, which almost looks green in this Styrian light conditions, doesn't it? And across then the apex of turn 1 we go. Then we'll head down the hill. Delmain says, let's go SSL boys. You're going to have to help me out on SSL. Who are we referring to, SSL? I can't think of what team that would be. Saltzmeister then, navigating a little bit of traffic, and that looks an awful lot better colour of blue now that we're in this portion of the circuit, not down the start-finish line. Again, bright sunshine, almost turquoise. It's going to be a little bit tricky this year, isn't it? Into turn 6 then we go. Just trying to hook up that apex, didn't quite make it, but avoid those run-off curbs and sausage curbs on the outside. Short shifting. Gear 6 through turn 8 and then heading down towards turn 9 of 10. Again, missing that apex slightly, hoping for a better hookup into the next few laps, but it's all about getting that banker lap done. Saltzmeister for the line then gets into P11 into a relatively safe position, but you have to say it doesn't look amazing at this early juncture. 8 minutes to go of Q1. We've got AP Mark, who was the first one to set a lap on screen for us at least, and is now currently bottom of the standings. This should be a little bit better than a 108.1. No, it's not. It's a 109.1. Significantly slower there for AP Mark. So we'll be hoping for a slightly better one, as will Esitronic in the Alfa Romeo. Needs to get himself out of trouble. Could be that we lose 15th and 16th places for this first qualifying session. So it's important to try and get yourself out of that bubble if at all possible, because the driver's still now learning how to use these cars, what to do about positioning the cars on track. It does appear you can put the throttle down with a little bit more confidence in high downforce setting. There is more downforce on the cars, but the lower speed corners are much more difficult for the drivers. That's an invalidation for Esitronic, so we'll ride with AP Mark, because this could be the only track action we see from him. Tormund says, hey, and let's cheer on Mercedes. Good to see, Tormund. You know the drill. You know what we want to see. And Bradley says Martin for pole. So hi to Bradley as well. Good to have everybody joining us. I hope you're all cheering on everybody. I see Shellin, or Shakes, is now cheering on McLaren. So presumably he's changed team away from the Ferrari team. Martin is retired from the session, just giving a free track to everybody else still pushing. Let's see what Esitronic can do, because AP Mark's got himself into P14 on a 107.648. He's hoping for a clearer track than he's got right now. Aston Martin very much in the way, and I think that did cost Esitronic something there. That wasn't ideal. Shellin says burn it down for pole on a 104.9. Well, that's very confident given the current times out there, but the track is evolving. So Brad says a 105.2. And he's in. Brad, you're cheering on Martin, so are you McLaren as well? Have you managed to stick with Shakes this time out and stick with your teammate? Esitronic then, as Shane retires from the session from P6, feeling pretty safe. Esitronic with 2 corners to go. Bit of cloud cover on the when facing southeast on the circuit, so we might see some weather rolling in. Esitronic for the line does improve, but not enough to get up off 15th position. So very much in the danger zone. Cowboy's in the pits as well, so we won't bother trying to watch Cowboy right now, as Top Gun appears to be on a lap as well. So Rabico says, let's go Uncle Bert's. And there's Gerhard Botta as well. And enjoying the F1 22 game, which is great to see. And Shellin and Brad have stuck together for the next season in the Premier Division, so good to see. Rabico says Martin for pole as well. I'm assuming, Rabico, you are Don Rabico of previous servers in common. So good to see the for any newcomers to the league. Unique feature here of Full Throttle Racing is that they share constructors points across both divisions. Top Gun improving up to P11, and that's why you see lots of teammates tuning in to cheer on their guys. They're also here to spec out, I think, their strategy for tomorrow night in Premier Division 2. And yeah, good to see, Rabico, good to see. So Ron is slowing on this lap, presumably just trying to find a good window on the circuit. What's Butts up to in the Williams? Have to learn these at the moment. So Williams is blue and carbon. It almost looks a little bit like the Alpine last year, and an erstwhile Toro Rosso as well. And Jaco says, let's go Martin. Aston Martin, I think you mean, not Austin Martin. If you're talking about Martin, I'm thinking of McLaren's Martin. So Aston Martin for Jaco, sorry. And going to the line then, Bert's on his outlap. Just under 3.5 minutes before we see the checkered flag. Now the clouds are absolutely rolling in on the towards the south facing and southwest facing of the circuit as well, and a little bit here on the northwest. So I think we may be in for some overcast conditions. We might have had the best of the track conditions in this session. His boats then through sector 1, surviving at least this one, but slowing, not happy with his time to let the Haas driver pass. That might well be Cowboy. Let's see. I think it might well have been there. Cowboy getting through turn 4 and 5 now, before he'll pick up the next sector time in between turn 6 and 7 here. What's his sector looking like? He is 3/10 faster than he's been before. That is on the cusp for where he needs to be. He could get up to P14 with this kind of an improvement. So trying to double down, consolidate that improvement, see if he can survive Q1. That's a healthy chunk of apex. That's too much. And just you can see the correction on the steering wheel. So he's going to have to go again. You can afford to go again on these runs. And Jacques joins us right in the last few minutes of qualifying. So presumably Jacques is going to try his best to get there. And Jet is saying Hamrick, bravo, with this one. So enjoying that. And in fact, Cowboy has invalidated this lap as well. I don't think there's time to pit and put new tyres on. I think he's just going to have to drive with what he's got underneath it. I'm surprised to see AP Marg retire from this one, but Jacques now joining us for this one might mean that we only lose 2 drivers, and the 15th place will survive. So Esitronic with no improvement coming into the pits with 1.5 minutes left to go, so not enough time to run again. Is Ron on an attack lap? He is not. He is on an invalidated lap. Here is Bertz, just 1/10 slower through sector 1 than he's been before. Might catch a distant tow here on the way down to turn 9 from the Haas, who is derating. That was very wide, but he kept the lap valid by going off throttle. That gave him a slower trip through the final corner, and that means he lost a lot of time in that final sector. So let's see, is Cowboy actually attacking the lap? Well, he's certainly doing something, but it's all over the place. He's got a very short amount of time to get round for another lap. He might just make it before the checkered flag comes out, and Jacques likewise is on an outlap and has all the pressure in the world on him. Now that is, I hope that was an accident from Cowboy, clearing out the braking marker board. 100-meter board gone from the approach to turn 2, net turn 3. Brad said traction is very hard on the new game. It is for sure. very, very easy to light up the rears. But Jacques, this is it. One-shot qualifying for Jacques in Q1 at least. Let's see if he can get any better. There you see that the braking marker board is gone for the reference point for the driver. That does make life very difficult for Jacques. But a purple first sector for Jacques. He is on it straight away. So tremendous work so far. Can he rein it in slightly and make sure he gets through to the next session of qualifying? We'll see if Cowboy makes it before the checkered flag. He's rounding. No, he's coming into the pits. He hasn't got enough left in the car to do it. So into the pits he comes. This will be the final lap of qualifying with Jacques on board. That looks like one of the Alfa Romeos. Is that? Must be Ron going round. Will he improve on this lap currently? Ron does go up to P5, so makes an improvement, but all eyes on Jacques here. Needs to keep a margin to the outside of turn 10, does so, and sprints for the line. Jacques up to P12 and survives this session, so it looks like AP Mark and Cowboy eliminated. Essitronic almost certainly on the bubble. Depends what the game decides to do in terms of eliminations. That was the end of your qualifying one. And the top time is with Hamrick of 105.7 in a very green track. So we'll see how the final standings all came out. There we have it then. So Hamrick with the top time, 105.705, with Martin, Burn It Down, Panda, Ron, J-Boy, Shane, Avalak, Burtz, and Stoffel, the top 10, separated by half a second. Then come Top Gun, Jacques, Salzmeister, Botta, and Essitronic survived with just AP Mark and Cowboy, who are going to have to sit out the next two sessions and try their best to get back on in rhythm for the race cold. So we're waiting on the start of Q2, 15 minutes to get ourselves down to just 10 drivers. It looks like McLaren on its way out, as is the Aston Martin as well. Strategy's going to be important, and we don't have the tyre selection issue this game iteration, do we? So I'm just looking at how poor the graphics are in the pit lane with the cars driving past from this view. I've not seen that already, and that's a bit of a disappointment. So there's Burn It Down, just getting ready. It does feel like the game looks a bit more cartoony than it did before, much brighter colours, which is a little bit easier to see, but a little bit less immersive perhaps. On boards look amazing, but I'm not sure about the outboard cameras. Let me know what you're thinking. So, Burn It Down about to start his lap. Let's join him on board. I know we've got some McLaren fans in the chat already. Through we go, turn 1, trying to avoid the exit. Oh no, he wasn't happy with that turn 1 at all, was he? That was not going to plan. So we'll join Stoffel instead, who seems a little bit more confident through the first corner at least. Looking for the braking point. Breakdown at about 65 meters. Yeah, Puna is asking about whether I'm asking too, Puna. So hopefully I'll find out soon. Best wishes to you as well. Unfortunate that you can't be with us tonight. Again, breaking down into turn 4 now. Trying to get on that throttle. Usually there's good grip on the outside. It looks like we're going to be dry for the race, but not so dry. Sorry, dry for qualifying, but not so dry for the race. So we are expecting rain in our race session. But qualifying should be a straight fight for the drivers. Nice fair fight as well in this first qualifying triplicate of sessions of our new season. And on the game, a 105.7 for Stoffel, immediately up to the pace that Sir Hamrick was on, and Burn It Down puts in a 111 on that slow lap. Sergeant Panda a 105.7 as well, and they're already gunning for Sir Hamrick's fastest time. So it's his right to respond next. He's on his outlap at the moment, weaving, keeping the tyres nice and warm, and waiting to start his lap. He's got a car up in front of him. Hopefully won't be too much of a problem for Sir Hamrick. And I'll keep an eye on the tower as the times build, but should be late braking here, about 55 metres there or thereabouts into turn 1. So J-Boy gets a 106.3, Shane a 106.2, and Hamrick then defending the fastest time from before. A little bit earlier on the brakes perhaps than we saw on the previous cars, but Martin a 105.3, already getting close to that pole position prediction that we saw earlier on in the live chat from Brad. So maybe Shakes might be a little bit more accurate with that prediction. Oh, a 5-place penalty for Martin for a collision with Esitronic on his cooldown lap. That's pretty devastating for McLaren, and that will stick for the race, of course. 5-place grid penalty for Martin, whether he survives this session or not. And there's Pantry saying Team Williams, go Burts and Top Gun. So good to see a nice spread of fans from around the Premier Division and from family and friends. And there's Sir Hamrick, a 105.8, just 1/10 slower than he went in the previous session, but it's only good enough P5 this time out. Let's ride with Burts then, given we've got a fan in the chat. He's about to finish out lap 1. This is a slow lap, possibly a charge lap on the soft tyres. 109.9, slowest time set so far, but I think he'll be attacking now. Can't quite see on his dash display there whether he's using the ERS, but yeah, much quicker through sector 1, 1.9 seconds faster than he went the first time round. So it looks like he's going for it. And there's Simps as well, cheering on in general. Boys, everybody's Simps, or have you got some favourites? Are you still supporting Haas, or have you switched allegiances in F1 22? Get an update on Burt's time here. 3.2 seconds faster, a 46.0. Ron has retired from the session. That looks to be inadvertent. That's accident situation on the exit, well, the entry of turn 5, exit of turn 4. That's Ron out of the session, will definitely be eliminated, so that makes life a little bit easier for the majority of the other drivers. Burts gets up to P8 with a 6.2, and it looks like Salzmeister and Botta currently on the bubble. Botta is on his way into the pits. That one's no good for him, but Salzmeister about to, well, he's on his outlap, isn't he? And Sims is cheering for everybody. Okay, great. Well, you won't be disappointed whoever wins then, if you're cheering everyone. Avalak in P3, that's a better time than he set in the previous session, 105.7, presumably now cooling down the car. So let's join Salzmeister as he prepares for his first real attack lap now. 8.5 minutes to go. It flies by in Q2. Feels to me like the mirror effects are a little bit better on the car as well this year on the onboard. But it does feel like we've given up some graphic performance on the outboard cameras, trackside cameras there. So Salzmeister, having dealt with turn 1, will get a quick update on his lap. It's a 16.5 purple sector for himself only. I still don't think they fixed that bug, and there's a little bit of a correction on the way out of turn 3. Slightly earlier braking needed for turn 2. Again, that 100-meter marking board hasn't been restored for this session, or it's already been wiped out by somebody. I do hope that's not a deliberate action. I know leagues where that is penalised pretty heavily, so probably best avoided, just on the off chance. So here is Salzmeister. Just missing the apex of turn 9. Could reach out and touch the apex of 10. This one looks to have a little bit of margin in it. It's a 6.5. It's a good time, but it's some distance away and still in the elimination zone for Salzmeister. Sister car of Jacques here in the BWT sponsored Alpine. And we've also got a Red Bull on track at the moment, about to start a lap. I presume that that's Avalak on his next one. Let's join Avalak. See, slightly quicker on that third lap on his soft tyres. So we'll go back to Jacques, who is, say, on the bubble, needing an improvement. Nice braking from Jacques, getting the car turned in very well into the turn 3. Notice the game hasn't included any flare effects from the grandstands. I'm sure someone will code that for a PC. Cover the track for the first 2 laps. So Martin retires from the session. That looks to be a deliberate action from potentially fastest time of this session. And as Puna says, it's a wet race, just to remind you. Jacques then heading to the line. And it is good enough for P7, a 5.9, and the time's absolutely converging here in Division 2. 5.3 is the reference time for everybody to aim at, but looks like it's a 6.2 that you need to clear in order to be safe from the session so far. Here is Botta then, in danger at the moment as the Alpine goes offline and starts to spark. That will be interesting for people doing battle into this corner. Will be the car grounding out offline. Harry's cheering on Williams. Puna says anyone can win tonight. Puna, who are you cheering on? Your teammate is, remind me, are you with Shane this year? No, you can't be with Shane. Stoffel? I want to say you're in the Aston Martin. And hi to Mango as well. Good to see familiar faces rejoining us. I'm sure that you have subscribed to the channel already, but if not, leave a like on the video for us as well in between sessions. And certainly before you leave us, there's a 6.7 for Botta, stuck down in P13. I wonder if he'll continue to attack this lap or go for another one. Jet's happy with the AlphaTauri boys. Good to see. And Botta is looking to be pushing on this lap. He's only 400ths away from his best time so far. Waiting for the yellow flags to die off so I can see how long we've got left in the session. It's good apex through turn 4 and 5 from Botta, and I missed the clock again. We had just a tiny moment. Maybe 2 attempts to make the apex smoothly, and we've lost a lot of time this time out. So yeah, Burtz is coming out on an out lap. We've also got Sir Hamrick from P7, who is, well, that lap's not going to be anything to write home about, is it? He was idling around after getting turn 6 wrong, obviously. So let's see, Burtz on the bubble, P11 currently, needs a better improvement here, but an improvement by a single tenth will see him safe currently. And Puna says it feels like a new year. Yeah, it definitely does. Everything's refreshed and we're back at it. Braking fairly early, but a quicker time and a purple time for Burtz in the first sector. Going for the old adage of slow in, fast out for the turns, I imagine, here. I would find that missing 100-meter board really frustrating right now. Butter has retired with 2.5 minutes to go from the session, so that means that the 3 drivers at the foot of the field will definitely not go any faster. Apologies, Perna, you are a Haas driver, of course you are, this year. Much better improvement from Burt's. Just needs to sit on this improvement, not get too greedy in the final 2 corners, make this one count, potentially push again for a faster lap, and there, exactly the problem, just stepped over the line. This one would have been good enough easily to qualify at 5.9. That would have got him way up the grid and get through to Q3, but just pushed the margin too far and finds himself stuck in P11 with that invalidation. Where is J-Boy at the moment? He's halfway around the track with a 1/10 improvement, so moving the bar for Burt's, who has invalidated this second lap as well. He's got to get around quickly to try and do whatever possible on these tyres. And with the battery as it is before the checkered flag falls, there was an invalidation from J-Boy, who was nearly 3/10 faster across the timing beam, but just overstepped. And the margins are so finally balanced. Salzmeister coming out for an outlap, but it's J-Boy, Burt's and Salzmeister competing at the moment to not be eliminated. So Hamrick has retired from P7. Doesn't want any more practice at this stage. And J-Boy crossed the line safely ahead of the checkered flag. This is his final attempt though. He won't get round in time for another one. So J-Boy, Burt's and Salzmeister. Is that a slowing of the Williams driver? Burt's possibly on the start-finish line, but a purple first sector for J-Boy. He'll enjoy that one. Salzmeister still on an outlap. Yeah, pit stop it was for Burt's, so he's not going any quicker. He will almost certainly be eliminated, but who will join him? Will it be J-Boy or Salzmeister? Time will tell. Another purple sector for J-Boy, looking on target here to get right up to the top of the timing screen and give himself plenty of confidence going into Q3. You really need to build the speed and get quicker and quicker with the track evolution through the 3 sessions. Bit of a long haul, and up to P5, so 4/10 of an improvement for him. Let's see what Salzmeister can do. Burt's will be eliminated, no question, but it's just Salzmeister versus Top Gun's time of a 106.0. Nice turn 6 apex from Salzmeister. Are we on track? We're on a 3/10 improvement. It's not quite enough yet. He's going to try and get another 2/10 to get himself out of Q2. A P11 would be a great place to start the race, you have to say. But he wants to get through to Q3. Can he make it? A 106.3. I couldn't quite count. I saw the times change slightly, but he qualified 11th, did Salzmeister, and we crossed the line. That is the end of Q2. And the drivers will now get ready for Q3, of course. Fastest time this time was Martin in the McLaren, but he will take a 5-place penalty for qualifying session ending contact, I think, with Esitronic. So Martin taking the fastest time on a 5.3. Then comes Burn It Down, Shane, Avalak, J-Boy, Sergeant Panda, Stoffel, Hamrick, Jacques and Top Gun, separated by 3/4 of a second. And then we lost Salzmeister, Burt's, Botta, Ron Schutter and Esitronic from the session. Q3 begins, 12 minutes to decide the top 10 starting order. And why not? Let's watch some telemetry this time out, shall we? So first car on track is Burn It Down in the McLaren. It's nice that the telemetry doesn't take up quite so much screen real estate this time. But I still think they could reduce the size of the tower, push everything out to the margins a bit more and give us some more on-screen room. But there you go. Shellin says they're 104.9 for pole. Burn It Down or Martin. That will be. Hedging his bets here. Doesn't have a favourite between the two McLaren drivers. And it's Burn It Down first out on track to get a safe banker lap in. Full throttle. Heavy on the brakes. Almost 0 to 100% brakes immediately. Didn't really trail brake on the way into turn 1. Building the speed up to just shy of 200 miles an hour. Little bit of wheel spin, lazy gear change on the way out of turn 3, sorry. Nice apex through 4 and a good racing line through turn 5. It's going to be the first one, of course, to cross the line, so he'll get the fastest time regardless. Bit wide through 7, but recovered it through 8 well enough. Spending away on the ERS. Very little ERS recovery ability through the lap, and it's a 5.2 for Burn It Down straight away, right on the pace. So a good early lap from Burn It Down. And we've got Stoffel about to cross the line. Next, Stoffel crosses and gets second, a 6.5. Now we have Shane in the Alpha Tauri, who both made it through. That's a 6.0. Big gap though for the other drivers to fit into. Here comes Jacques. So it's going to be a 6-something, a 6.3 for Jacques. Panda, a 5.3, right on the bubble as J-Boy goes P4 as well. The other McLaren of Martin about to cross the line around about now, and that's a 5.5. So it's 2 McLarens, 2 Mercedes in the top 5. Very nice early laps for those guys. Here comes Top Gun. About to cross the line into P3, a 5.3. We have the top 3 separated by just over 1/10 of a second. Tremendously close. And next up we've got Avalak, who is probably going for two qualifying stints here in, rather than trying to squeeze out a third push lap. Here we go then, on board league owner Avalak. Late on the brakes, nicely over that inside curb without touching either sausage curb on each side, the little yellow painted curbs. Hard on the brakes, down into turn 3, and then up over the crest. Temporarily using second gear to get it into turn 4, but quickly upshifting to third for traction. A little bit of understeer through turn 6 maybe. It's a 45.3 for his first lap here, but perfectly through 8. Double downshifts into turn 9 and 10, and we go to cross the line with Avalak. P2 at 5.3, yet another driver in that window of a 5.3. So the first laps are on. We have a 1.1 second, well, 1.02 second gap between first and ninth, with Avalak not setting a time at this stage. Looks like Stoffel might still be running. Is he winding down here? I think he might be. Yeah, definitely slowing now for the next lap, but Martin is already out on an outlap, so we'll catch him shortly. He's perhaps going to go for 3 attempts, using up the fresh softs, so not holding any back for the race. What do you reckon in the live chat for the best strategy? What's your guess? Will we be going soft medium or medium soft, or will it be a 2-stopper today here in Austria? So Stoffel on his way in. We will ride with Martin shortly when he starts his next one, and Sir Hamrick is back out already as well. So have a slightly quieter time of it. So I'm being told a dry start to the race with a possible rain throughout, says Shane. So not clear cut, but yeah, definitely some rain expected around the 10-minute mark. We'll join Martin as he starts his next lap, gently on the throttle. This is one of Shellin's picks for pole. First lap didn't quite go to plan, 5.5. And that's a purple first sector. Slight over rotation though on the way out of turn 3. Had to recover there slightly. We'll ride with Martin for now, but Sir Hamrick is also on a lap. Still feel just the tiniest bit of understeer, but maybe that's a conscious decision on setup for tyre preservation in the race. Still up on his previous time, but not by a lot. Didn't gain a lot in sector 2. And I think he's slowing for this one. Doesn't really want to set that lap. We'll ride with Sir Hamrick. I don't think Martin is going to improve massively, so he's trying to harvest for the next one or come in and get a new set of boots on. He is going for another one, but Sir Hamrick is on this one at the moment, still pushing, leaving about 30% ERS to deploy on the way to the line. And into P7, a 6.0 for Sir Hamrick. He has been quicker though through the course of the evening so far. Burn It Down gets a 5.2 on the board. And he's about to, he's certainly on his lap at the moment. Let's see how the final sector goes for Burn It Down. Is that 7th gear out of turn 9? I think it might have been. Across the line then, a 5.0 for Burn It Down, 1/10 away from the highest prediction we've had so far from Shakes. Here comes Panda, currently P3. What does his middle sector look like? It's just under 3 minutes to go before the checkered flag. Tiny oversteer moment. He's pushing and he's very close to his limit now. 105.349. His time, a small improvement in this final sector will see him move up the grid. So let's see what that final sector ended up with, and it's exactly the same time from Panda. He's obviously right on the limit. Wow, exactly the same time. I've seen it set by different drivers, but I don't think I've ever seen it set by the same driver. Here comes Stoffel and a purple middle sector. 1/4 of a second faster through here. Puna says we've got the problem there with traction in the wet weather. Stoffel across the line, big improvement up to P6. That's a 4/10 improvement, but he's only good enough for P6 at the moment there so far. So it's Burn It Down from Martin on a 5.2, then Avalak, Panda, Top Gun, and Stoffel, your top 6, followed by Hamrick, Shane, who is on a lap right now, Jack and J-Boy at the tail of the top 10. That is a small improvement for Shane. For him, he looked to be gathering the car though, almost backing the car up into turn 3. J-Boy on a P10 6.2, 1.2 seconds separating the top 10 at this current juncture. So sector 2 still better than he's been before. 1/10 improvement will see him up to P7 for Shane, debuting at least with us versus last season. It's a new one to me, Shane. So I haven't been with the guys for more than the last season. That's a 6/10 improvement for Shane. Gained half a second on himself in the final sector, but still knocking on the door of the top 6. 5.4 is only good enough for him so far for P7. Got Burn It Down on an out lap with 30 seconds to go. J-Boy goes to cross the line, and that is a 5.6. Promotes himself to P8, but let's ride with, I think, Avalak, who is improving as well by enough to get onto the front row at the moment. Not going to trouble Burn It Down's time just yet, but maybe he's on course. 0.06 of a second improvement. Arno is cheering Red Bull, so that's good enough time for me to get on board a Red Bull then. Avalak gunning for the front row here. Burn It Down has crossed the line, does not improve from a 5.0. Avalak though, what's it going to be? It's a 5.1. He does make the front row, Avalak, in the dying seconds of qualifying. So Hamrick still only in P9, but a great lap from Avalak. Gets himself up there into P2. So Hamrick, perhaps the guy with the best chance here on fresh tyres. And we know he's been quick. We know he's done a 5.7 already this evening in Q1. So Hamrick, 5th gear through turn 6. That's a big improvement. A purple middle sector, 0.6 faster than he's been before. On for a big climb here. So Hamrick in the Alpha Tauri to finish up our session. Great final 2 corners from Hamrick, and what's it going to be? Why does it always take my tower away just as we finish 5th for Sir Hamrick? Great lap at the dying moments of Q3. Great stuff there from the guys. That was a really good session. 0.6 of a second separating 9 drivers at the top of this Division 2. Burn It Down on top with Avalak and Martin in 3rd place. Then comes Panda, Hamrick, Top Gun, Stoffel, Shane, J-Boy and Jack at the rear, but very much close to the pace as well. Should be a great race for us in store. There's just enough time to share the race on socials, get your mates involved watching, and get your predictions in for the podium as well. They don't count unless they come before the end of the formation lap, but half distance around the Red Bull Ring we will go to decide who gets the best start to this 11 race season here in Division 2. We are expecting a dry start with some changeable conditions into the first laps of the race, first 10 minutes or so of the race. I will probably forget about that very quickly once we get going with the excitement of overtaking. Hi to Dominic, who is cheering Panda and J-Boy, Team Mercedes. And the formation lap will be underway. I don't know, perhaps the Premier Division guys can let me know here. Are we doing the new formation lap and pit stop arrangement? I can't remember what it's called now, where you drive yourself into your pit box and your formation lap grid slot. tyre selection then for the drivers. We've got a few hard tyres on the cars. That's Avalak, Panda, Hamrick, Shane, Martin, J-Boy, Jacques, Botta and Ron, all on hard tyres. That is a bit of a surprise for me. Soft tyres for Salzmeister, everybody else on the medium, so we're going to have a real split of strategies. Look to Salzmeister to be gaining places against those hard drivers in front of him, but that is really, really interesting on the strategy side of things. Lots of drivers just going on AI, I think, here for the formation lap. Don't really want to chance it. I think they may give up a few degrees of tyre temperature. But remember, Martin got that 5-place penalty, took him from 3rd down to 8th. That promotes Panda, Hamrick, Top Gun, Stoffel and Shane by 1 place each. So Burnett Down and Avalak's places are unaffected. It's interesting to see the Alfa Romeo boys next to each other on the circuit, as are the Alpine team. But such a short lap here. We will have 36 of them for the race, but it's a short lap around the circuit. So they're already heading towards their grid slot. It does look like they are choosing their own grid slots here. Certainly some of them are. But we'll be underway for you very shortly. Remember, let's get your podium selections in. You can only choose 3. Choose from the drivers to who you think will get the podium. Disqualification from Top Gun already, but we were almost underway for you. Just waiting to get you the ideal camera angle. Here we go then. The lights are on, the revs are building. And it's dropped the clutch and go, go, go with the McLaren at the front. Burn it down away well. The Red Bull of Avalak getting swamped with presumably no traction control. Big difference, but streaking into the lead from 5th or 4th on the grid. It's Sir Hamrick up 3 places immediately. And Salzmeister on the soft tyres got a beautiful start, up 6 places as well. So Sir Hamrick straight into the lead of the race. And there is Salzmeister in the Alpine, way ahead of his rivals. There's an AI car of Avalak just behind. Looks like a lot of drivers struggling to get away, and I think we may have a bit of a problem here. Everybody leaving the session suddenly, disconnections all around, but Sir Hamrick holds on. I will stay on stream as long as possible, but we do have possibly a problem here as we've got drivers left, right and centre leaving the session. I think we'll have to start again, unfortunately. Apologies for this one. We may end up, I'm afraid, we may end up losing the stream, but I'll do my level best for you to hold it. If we do lose the stream, you know what to do. Just go back to the channel homepage and hit the refresh button until we're live on track. So yeah, thanks to everybody. Thanks to everyone who has left the messages. I will get new invites shortly, and I will try and hold the stream if possible, but it is unlikely, I have to say. Wow, that's not the best podium graphics, is it? We will have a lobby restart, it looks like. So, in all likelihood, the stream will stop, and I just really hope that as many of you can rejoin back with us. There's time to grab a drink before the stream will be live again if we do lose it. But thanks to Martin, thanks to several other drivers there with the information and the guidance. So I've got new invitations already, so hopefully let's try this and see. Previously I've not been able to restart on the same stream, but hopefully we will. If not, it's a close everything down and start again kind of job. Looks like a few people struggling with load shedding. Well, look at that for a turn up for the books. That is quite something. I will take a short break. Hopefully you guys will do the same, and be back on track with you shortly. It'll be a custom grid rebuild for everybody, so it will take a minute or two. Be back soon. Well, welcome back, everybody, and thank you for your patience. Very, very grateful to you for doing that. We've managed to hold everything together. I think we are going to go for a sprint race now, given the delay here. So we finish on time for everybody who needs to rush off for other appointments. But we should have that custom grid back as it was for the from qualifying, of course, earlier in the stream. And thank you so much for sticking with us. You've still got time here to drop me your podium predictions, which would be pretty awesome. Let me know, of course. I can't promise a predictions championship, but I can definitely promise kudos. We've just got somebody left the session there. Oh no. Not a good sign. Everybody leaving the session. Looks like we've gone again. Yeah, looks like we'll be doing another lobby rebuild. So yes, can only apologise, guys. It's a new game for everybody, new servers, of course, and it is causing all manner of different problems for everyone. I think I will hold the stream once again. Try and get in with the second one. So nothing to watch here. It looks like Martin was accidentally not given his penalty. Well, welcome back to the coverage, and thank you so much for your continued patience. Hopefully, third time's a charm with the lobby, and we'll be able to get into the proper section of our racing. 36 laps we are still expecting to perform around this track. I imagine if it doesn't go right this time, we will shorten it to a sprint. But it looks like maybe Sir Hamrick maybe stepped away for a moment just to get comfortable. So I need to get him back in seat pretty quickly, starting I think 4th, and he'll be hoping for a better start than he managed last time. An equal start to what he managed last time. Whether we still have the same weather conditions or not is a bit of a question mark for me. Apologies for the graphics there, just a little flash on the screen as we count down for the start. And hi to Sakib, who says good luck Alfa Romeo. So good to see him. We're almost at 50 comments. I wonder who'll get the 50th. Hopefully we will have a good number of likes on the video before we depart as well. Despite the difficulties we're experiencing, it's a very simple way to say thank you for the coverage. A quick like on the video is very important for the YouTube algorithm, of course. So we're about to get there. On to the formation lap. Cars are mostly solid and starting off. Burn it down in front, and Martin has been properly placed into his P8, suffering as he was his that 5-place grid penalty for contact with Esitronic that sent Esitronic out of qualifying. Sergeant Panda, J-Boy and Ron have opted for hard tyres, which is fewer than we saw before, with Salzmeister sticking with the soft tyres, but Botta and Martin going on to soft tyres as well. So interesting to see strategy changing in between these lobby rebuilds. I'm not sure how that is allowed or not. In leagues I usually commentate on, you have to double down on your strategy, but hopefully everyone's remembered their setup. So I did drop a reminder into the live chat, but someone always forgets on a lobby rebuild, so we'll find out if that's been the case for anyone. Hi to Wesley, and thank you for that, very kind, and hopefully we can keep this entertaining for you through the 36 laps around the Red Bull Ring. It's not usually difficult to have an entertaining race around here, is it? It's a pretty easy task sitting in the commentary booth, honestly, around tracks like this where overtaking happens frequently, and we may have a change in weather conditions as well. Burn it down, just coming through the final 2 corners then to take up position on his starting grid. So here comes Burn It Down then. Just positioning the car just slightly left of centre of his grid. Avalac in second, doing the same, and then a bit of a gap to the next driver's positioning the cars. It does look like we've got slightly randomised positioning, some cars getting it very, very wrong indeed and disqualified from the session. So it's all a learning opportunity for the drivers, of course. And we are almost ready. All the drivers have arranged. We've only got 16. One of them dropped out, it seems, in between lobbies. But looks like we are underway then. The lights are building and the revs are building with it. It's time to get going here. And it's drop the clutch and go, go, go again. Avalac with a little bit of a struggle away from the line, but Hamrick not quite the lightning start he had the last time. It's Burnt It Down easily into the lead of the race. Continuing, but it's Sir Hamrick getting the first corner all wrong and oversteering. Several cars going off in the background. That looks like possibly Botta, Ron, Hamrick and Martin suffering bad early few yards on the racetrack, and Avalac outbraking himself and letting Top Gun through into P3. Avalac will be slow away from the turn 3 corner, and that leaves a window open for Stoffel, who gets up into P4 as well. A great start then for Top Gun and Stoffel, J-Boy, Esitronic and Cowboy. Cowboy himself up 4 places now already on this lap, and that is a good start for them. So Hamrick down 4 places, Avalak down 3, but a long way to go in the race just yet. Bernard Down enjoying this, already 1.7 seconds ahead of Panda, and increasing as we go through, and he'll be very happy to keep that kind of a gap for the first 2 laps at least. Cowboy into P12 with the best start on the circuit, and I'll go back to then the tyre demonstration. Cowboy did that on medium tyres as well, so extra impressive from Cowboy. So Hamrick on the tail of his teammate Shane. Will there be any form of team orders this early into the race coverage? So Hamrick, both of them on the same tyre. He'll have to get this done on merit and using slipstream on this first lap. Avalak looking in the mirrors to Shane and Sir Hamrick in the sister team Alpha Tauri, but it's Bernard Down, Panda, Top Gun, Stoffel, Avalak, Shane, Hamrick, J-Boy, Martin and Salzmeister, your top 10. Martin just getting ahead of Salzmeister in that previous corner, but Salzmeister stealing the place back immediately on the inside line on the way out, and that leaves Martin vulnerable here to Butts, who comes down the inside. Martin will have good grip on the outside of the circuit, and look, you can go side by side on the exit of turn 4. It is quite simple to make it work. But currently Cowboy settling down into 12th position, but on the tail of Butts there in 11th place, and Sir Hamrick and Shane the closest guys on the track at the moment. The Alpha Tauris following the Red Bull of Avalak as well, nose to tail. And look at Bernard Down's lap as DRS is enabled on the next opportunity, but Bernard Down already 2.5 seconds in front in the lead. Martin had good pace in qualifying. Will it translate? It's Shane with the first car with DRS Profit on the car in front, going for the move straight away, strike while the iron's hot, gets down to the apex. Avalak with ending up hitting the side pod, and through goes Hamrick as if the seas just parted in front of him. Shane and Avalak tripping over each other slightly, clumsily through turn 3, and that meant J-Boy got past Avalak as well. So already the overtake starting into this early part of the race, lap 3 of 36, and we've already seen a handful of overtakes. Martin into P9 has got ahead of Salzmeister properly this time, and is now on the tail of Avalak himself. So Martin in the Red Bull, who dropped down places from the start, but on the hard tire, on the soft tire, needs to make hay while he's on soft tires. Otherwise his strategy will go to pot. Whether he'll make a one stop, it remains to be seen. Bit of a voyage into the unknown for the drivers here. Not many of them will have been able to do full 50% races in anticipation of the new game mechanics and how they react to various track temperatures. But at the moment you'll find Panda right on the tail of Top Gun in the battle for the smaller steps of the podium, at least. 2.6 seconds behind Bernard Down comes Top Gun and Panda, with a gap then out to Stoffel and Sir Hamrick. Shane and J-Boy just outside that DRS window. Martin gets a move done, does he, on Avalak, gets down the inside into turn 4 and significantly past. Avalak really struggling on the outside defence, but of course soft tyres on Martin will have made that job easier. Will Panda have a go then in the Silver Arrow against Top Gun's Williams? Close enough just yet, but Sir Hamrick might be on the Aston Martin behind Stoffel. Stoffel not quite got the early pace on the new game that he had at the latter stages of the previous iteration. He was very, very good in Division 2 last time out. It's Hamrick not quite there on the brakes. What about Martin? Getting a much better line through the corner against the hard tyre wearing J-Boy. Should be candy from a baby, this Martin versus J-Boy, given the tyre difference. But into the 4th lap now on those soft tyres for Martin. So they'll pass their initial best. And a penalty for Stoffel as the first penalised driver during the race. Presumably that's track limits for him, and Sir Hamrick trying to get the car underneath into turn 9. It's a difficult place to make an overtake work, but he'll be patient and trying to get a good exit here. through the final corner, and with the drag up the hill, DRS in operation. He does not go for the move. Perhaps a little lift and coast, save a bit of fuel for later, and now go on the attack and pounce. He's got his teammate right behind him. He might want to try and bring his teammate through. On the brakes, will it be? He does lean on the brakes. He puts the nose up the inside. Stoffel defends to the outside, and they still run side by side on the way out. Stoffel got the better traction on the outside run, but here comes Sir Hamrick once again. Much easier, much closer this time, and down the inside. Stoffel turns right in on him. That was Perez-Russell-like, frankly. Stoffel turned in to try and get the switchback done, but mistimed it. I think hit the side pod or wheel-to-wheel contact, and that's opened the door now for Shane right on the tail of Stoffel here to try and follow through. And that is Shane off track, losing the front wing. He just got it wrong. Lost the front wing performance and into the pits. In fact, he is clattered into by Martin. Shane could do nothing to get himself into the pit lane. He's trying his hardest. He's going to pass the bollard, I think. No, into... Oh.